today's episode, we will meet with a photography instructor here at MATC to speak on what it's really like within the photography program. We also spoke with President of MATC, Dr. Vicki J. Martin, on how she views and celebrates International Women's Day. Lucky you, stay tuned for how to make a savory Reuben sandwich to celebrate St. Patty's Day this year. All this and more coming up on MATC Now. Good morning, and once again, welcome to MATC Now. As some of you may know, I'm Courtney Bondar. You may have seen me in the field, but now I'm in the studio, joining you as your new host of MATC Now. Today I'm joined by my co-host, MATC's photography instructor, Darren Dubinsky. Darren, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, thank you very much. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good.
I'm so glad to have you here with me.
Yes, glad to be here, thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit more later about you, Darren, in just a bit. But first, we have our brand new field correspondent, Joe O'Keefe, in the H building. How's it going, Joe?
Hello, and thank you for watching. My name is Joe O'Keefe, and I am the brand new field correspondent for MATC Now. Now, I have found myself here in the H building, and I'm going to be talking about a very specific department that's going to put a smile on your face, coming up in just a moment.
That's awesome. We'll check back in later on the show. As you may know, International Women's Day has just passed. We had the honor of sitting down with MATC's president, Dr. Vicki Martin. We'll see what she has to say about this global celebration.
Women's History Month is a very important time of the year. It's a time to highlight the power women hold in this ever-changing country and what can be done to improve such. MATC's president, Dr. Vicki Martin, has climbed her way through MATC and sets a perfect example that any woman has the power to succeed.
Well, I started my journey at MATC and working at Oak Creek campus. I was the director of student services at that time. And so it was a great experience. I came from a four-year institution, and it was just a wonderful experience because the work that I did here at MATC really matched my personal mission of helping students to succeed. I think that I appreciate being the second president who's been a woman here at this institution. As part of the technical college system, we have about 6 female presidents right now. So it's really gratifying to lead a large institution, large public urban institution in Milwaukee. After working here for so many years and actually working my way up, I might be the first president that's actually done that.
Many women find it difficult to climb in the workplace. However, Dr. Martin has a very positive outlook on how women can succeed and strive for greatness.
I really believe that you gain a lot of confidence through education and through understanding yourself better. So I'm a person who reflects a lot on what's going on and what's happening, but I also reflect on what do I need to do to be stronger, better, and to grow as an individual. I've had many promotions, obviously, over the years, and in each of those positions, whether I liked those positions or thought I wasn't really fully qualified for those positions, I devoted myself 100% to learning and to getting better and to getting feedback on my performance, but also on what could I do better.
Everyone has a voice. However, it is much harder for a woman to use hers in today's society. Dr. Martin shares her thoughts on empowerment and just how important having the ability to speak out has such significance.
Woman empowerment really means taking control of what happens in your own life. And I know that just because some people maybe don't want you to have that power, I really believe in power sharing and shared governance, because I think that that's where you get the best ideas, and I think that's where by working together and figuring things out, you go a lot faster together. The complexity of the problems that we're facing right now really requires us to be empowered, and that means having that voice and feeling that you can speak up and that you're going to be heard, and being in that respectful environment. I think the theme for this year is about gender equity for a sustainable world. I think that's really the key right there. And let's all work together, all of us, to make it a better place for all women.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and MATC may have just the department to put that to reason. Students can partake in the photography program in order to strengthen their photographic interests.
The photography program at MATC kind of deals with preparing students for industry employment. Industry employment could range anything from being a support person in the industry, working as an assistant, a digital tech, somebody working on lighting equipment, like a traditional grip from the film industry, only in stills, or an actual photographer themselves.
We're kind of based in the commercial world, so a lot of studio-based work is done here, but we are really kind of well-rounded. So we introduce, if you're into the retail photography, like doing weddings and portraits, we have a portraiture class. If you're interested in photojournalism, we have a photojournalism class, but a lot of our work is done here in the studios.
Within photography, we try to expose them to a range of different disciplines. In photography, we teach them everything from not only equipment handling, but lighting, light control, how to use light to create shape and form and add mood and drama to an image.
You know, we're interested in composition, we're interested in making pretty photos, but we're also really interested in making those technical quality photos. So learning about how to use your camera with shutter speed, aperture, depth of field, changing your ISO.
Taking a picture is more complex than just hitting a button. Students need to understand many of the technical aspects that go into photography.
They say the best camera is the one you have with you, right? But it's really important to learn those technical skills of photography, because if you look actually at the video quality, I love sports, and if you look at the video quality of 20 years ago of a really amazing sports moment, it's kind of grainy, it's not that great like looking, but you look at an image from that same time frame and it really holds up. And I feel like photography, documenting life, the way of the world, moments, so I think it's really important that you do keep learning about photography and making technical photos so that we can, you know, make images that will last, that have good quality.
I think the biggest advantage we offer currently is just this complete immersion in the technology. Students really get a hands-on exposure to the equipment. And some of the equipment has gotten extremely pricey in industry. And so, you know, in a sense, this is one of the best equipped photo studios in the state. Students could go to a lot of various institutions and they'd be hard pressed to find all of that stuff all in one place. The immersion of the program, the fact that it's very technical centered. So we basically are going headstrong into just the discipline of digital capture and output.
Like any artist, passion is vital for photographers to create their pieces. Loving your craft is the ultimate key to success.
I say that even if you don't know anything about photography, to come in and with an open mind and some motivation and perseverance, and we can really teach you how to use your camera and how to take the photos that you might want to take that you never thought you were capable of taking. This program can really teach you how to be, you know, a professional photographer.
Love photography. Love light for all that it's worth. Light is everything. Being able to work with light because that's what you're doing, you're capturing photons. I would give anybody the advice, if you have a passion for making images, this is a great program for you.
You won't regret reliving these moments for the rest of your lives. By taking pictures and learning more about how to refine them makes them that much more special.
That's very true, Darren. But it looks like we've got field correspondent Joe O'Keefe downstairs in the H building. What's going on down there, Joe?
Thank you, Courtney. Being down here in the H building, there are so many fantastic courses to be had, but I'm here in the health building with Nicole Jackson, the lead faculty dental technician, and she's going to tell us everything we need to know. So give me a little rundown of what goes down here.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today. So as you mentioned, we're with the dental technician program. Dental technicians are responsible for making prosthetic appliances for the mouth. So anything that would be a replacement of an original structure, right? So complete dentures, crown and bridge, full cast crowns, individual units, full mouth reconstructions. We're in the business to fabricate these. With this, a patient would go to a doctor. In that act, they would decipher what was going to happen in terms of replacing things either for function or aesthetic value, and communicate us those requests in script. We would get a physical impression, and from there we would start manufacturing techniques between digital and analog processes. So as you can see here, we have a variety of materials, dental resins, physical impressions, custom trays, prefabricated trays, PFMs, alloys, and then, as I mentioned, complete dentures. So a little bit of everything. We are a technical diploma program, and so our students start in fall and graduate in spring.
Wow.
So we really have a powerhouse of structure for educational values and experiences for our students.
And do you have any examples you could show me, other than the ones you have pre-made? Do you have anything you could show me?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the new additions to the program is E4 scanner with Reshape. We use this for CAD design as well as scanning. So you can see here we have a model that's loaded already. And then on the screen there is actually like the physical representation of that scan. So we would enter in all that information based upon the script that we looked at, and be able to track that for the patient in that type of way. We would then pick up workflows to actually digitally design a crown or whatever we were working on restoratively. And then we even have a 3D printer in-house as well.
Really? Could you show us that?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's continue to walk down. So here's some models that we've printed out, just to show you like that physical scan. We can go through and design the model.
Looks so
here
real.
It is articulated, yeah. And then on our 3D printer here, Formlamps printer, you can see that there's some active prints that have just finished.
So this is where the sausage gets made.
This is where the sausage gets made. And so with that, it is a liquid-based resin. And so it's additive manufacturing. And to your left here, this is where we would take things out. So if I were to take this mount off, this base, here's the physical representation of the prints. So the crown that you saw on the digital screen over there is right at the center, and there it is in resin form.
Wow.
Yep.
That's really cool. So they come right out of the printer and then they have to dry, and then they settle?
Yes, we actually take them through a series of cleansing through isopropyl alcohol, and then we actually light cure them to fully harden them.
Wow. That's actually fascinating. So tell me a little bit about the students. What are they doing?
Yeah, and we do have some students working with us in the room right now. So they're actively working on crown and bridge workflows. So right now, as I mentioned, the program is structured to house both analog and traditional workflows by hand. We go back and forth between digital natures. And so they are hand waxing right now in terms of just identifying like contour and replacement in that type of a fashion. We also have some different frameworks and crowns that they have just finished up. We're just finishing out our crown and bridge, and these students will be graduating at the end of May.
End of this May. So the course is only 1 year?
Yep, 1 year.
Everything you need to know.
Everything you need to know. And so it's 8 courses total, and like I said, students start in fall, and then they graduate in spring. No need to petition. It is open application, and so we welcome everyone and anyone. In terms of getting out into industry too, our students have open architecture in terms of where they decide to place. A lot placed traditionally in lab settings as technicians right away. Some will look at management, ownership, in terms of like sales, technical perspectives, training, it really the sky's the limit on what students want to do.
Well, it was fantastic talking to you. Everything you told me was so informational, and I absolutely adore everything you're doing here.
Oh, thank you so much. You're welcome back anytime. We appreciate you being here today.
Thank you for your time. Back to you in the studio, Courtney.
That was a wonderful tour of some of the things we have here at MATC. With St. Patrick's Day right around the corner, people are getting ready to celebrate. You may have seen the Irish Culture and Heritage Center, but do you know everything about what goes on inside? Student producers Patricia Gomez and Chris Rivera give us a look at what they have to offer.
Located on 22nd in Wisconsin, the Irish Cultural and Heritage Center hosts many colorful events throughout the year. not just around St. Patrick's Day.
My name is Corey Webster. I am president of the board of the Irish Culture and Heritage Center. This is going to be my 5th year as president. The history started when 4 of our founding members decided that we needed a little bit more of an Irish presence, and the Grand Avenue Church, which was previous to the Irish Cultural Center, was going up for sale, and it was actually $1. So the 4 founding members each threw in a quarter, and thus the Irish Cultural and Heritage Center was born. Since then, this is going to be our 30th year, and we have done many great things. We've had over 200 acts play throughout the years. We've had plays, Irish plays, we've had book readings. We have most of the groups in Milwaukee, Irish groups, meet here at the center and call it their home. So everything that is Irish during the year for most of our groups in the city of Milwaukee come through here. Well, I became a member of the center about 10 years ago. My wife and I actually started coming here, and we noticed that, believe it or not, the American flag was on the ground. So I stopped my car, I picked up the flag, and I called the center and said, hey, the American flag was on the ground, and we didn't want to see that. And I ended up talking to one of the members here and one of the volunteers, and next thing you know, I thought, well, I want to be more involved. So my wife and I actually decided to do the gardens out front. So we rehabbed all the gardens, and then I started cutting the grass, and then I started doing a little bit more inside. Within about 1.5 years, 2 years, they asked me to become on the board, a board member. I served on the board for about 4 years, and then we had a vote, and unanimously, I was voted president. So I took the position.
Not only do they have concerts throughout the year, but they also bring in stores that sell snacks from Ireland and the UK, so people can get their favorite snacks from overseas.
March, obviously, is always our biggest time of the year. The only thing we don't do is St. Patrick's Day. And the reason why we don't do St. Patrick's Day is because every bar in the city of Milwaukee has something for St. Patrick's Day. And like we always say, everybody wants to be Irish on St. Patrick's Day. So we kind of leave that out to them, because for us to try to book other bands, it just gets a little too hard. What we do during the year is we do have a book club that comes in here. We have a beautiful Irish library upstairs that is free to rent. We have the Irish Genealogy Society of Wisconsin. We do concerts throughout the year. We usually do about 5 to 6 concerts a year. We usually do a fall series and a spring series. And I believe we are trying to branch out and maybe do a little bluegrass series in the future. We're working on that. I think people should know that being here, you're part of a society. You're part of a group that really wants to be together. And I think nowadays that's what people want to do. And I think the more involved people get, I think once people come in the building and they realize how rich in history and divisive it is for Irish and Celtic worlds. We have 3 levels. We have the upstairs, which is also a hall. We have this beautiful area here. We have Parlor A over there. Then we have the Hollamore, which is our grand area, which is where the stage is set and all of our musical acts play. Milwaukee is very diverse, obviously, as we know, and we welcome anyone. And some of our volunteers are Polish. Some of our volunteers are German. But they all have that love of the Irish culture, they all have a love of the building, and they have a love of volunteering. And when you volunteer, again, it's that interaction with human beings, and you meet new friends, you get to do new things.
With the ICHC holding more events now that the pandemic regulations have relaxed, the ICHC wants everyone to come and enjoy the concerts and other fun events they've got.
Taxes can be difficult for some students. MATC offers help to make doing taxes for students, staff, and community members go a lot smoother.
Volunteer Income Tax Assistance is a program that is offered by the IRS for free tax preparation for clients that have gross income of $66,000 or less. And MATC has been running a Vitus site for over 30 years. And right now we have volunteers, and then we also have students in our class that are preparing the tax returns. And the reason we offer it as a class is so that our students can get 3 credits and get an experience that's similar to an internship by preparing tax returns for actual clients. I think the hard part about doing taxes by yourself is you might not know of credits that exist. So if you use a program that asks you the right questions, you answer them the correct way, then you hopefully will get the correct credit. But if you have one of our volunteers or students prepare your tax return, they are trained to know what credits you qualify for. So they've already taken a full semester of tax class in the fall, and this is their second tax class. So they've been training for the 21 returns now for probably 5 or 6 months, practicing these new laws. So I think you'll get a better refund if you have our preparers help you.
MATC partners with professionals who are available for those who are having trouble doing taxes themselves.
I guess if you aren't a tax professional, I think the best thing you can do is get the free help from people that are trained to do the returns. We do have volunteers that have returned, several years, and they help with the quality review and the oversight. And I also think with just all the complexity of the new laws, that it's good to have someone who is well-versed, especially in credits, right? Because credits give you a dollar for dollar refund, right? So if you want to maximize the amount of money you get back, it's good to go to a professional.
MATC offers people multiple different ways to get tax help.
We have both drop-off service and we have an online virtual service. So if you want to log in, we have a getyourrefund.org/MATC, I think is the exact website, but you can create an account and you can upload your own documents using your smartphone. Or if you don't feel comfortable creating an account and uploading your own documents, then we have the drop-off service on Mondays at the downtown campus and Tuesdays here at the Oak Creek campus.
We all know taxes are definitely a stressful time, but thankfully MATC is offering help. Don't you agree, Darren? I know I'm going to take advantage of that program.
Absolutely. I think it's really great that MATC has a lot of different programs, including that tax program to help out our students.
Of course. Yeah. And now, Darren, if you don't mind, I would love to ask you questions about what you do here in the photography program and learn more about that.
All right, excellent. Yes,
okay,
thank you.
So my burning question is, what do you do in the photography program and how long have you been involved?
So I've been teaching, I teach in the photography program, and I've been involved for, this is my 3rd year now. Yeah.
Really? Oh, good. Do you feel that this program prepares students for college, or after college, sorry?
Oh my goodness, it really does both. It really firstly prepares them for the workforce, right? So upon graduating, they'll be able to fully, be a full-fledged photographer and go out on into the marketplace and either get a job as a photographer at a studio, or if they wanted to go on freelance as well. But we also do have as well articulation agreements with some colleges, Columbia University. So they can enter in directly as a junior if they graduate from our program. And so there are some other further education bachelor's options after you graduate here from MATC of the photography program.
Of course. So in your experience, how has the experience that you've gotten prepared you to teach this course?
Well, that's a good question. I started out actually as a student here at MATC. And I graduated from the MATC photography program years ago, and so I am very familiar with the program. And then I went out into the community and I worked as a working photographer full-time for many years, and now I am here teaching back at MATC. So I'm really excited to be here and helping students move forward with their passion in their career.
Oh, that sounds wonderful, and it honestly sounds like that you got so much experience from that to bring it back here to MATC. So in your opinion, what is the most important experience that a student can obtain when carrying out of college into their field?
Sure. I would say specifically in the photography program, the experiences that they get here is working with the high-end gear and also working with and learning the technical things moving them forward into the workforce. So we actually have a lot of very high-end gears that they can work hands-on, and then once they graduate from our program, they're able to go on set and work with industry professionals and be very familiar, right? They just jump right into and be like, oh yeah, I'm familiar with that Pro Photo Pack. Oh yeah, I'm familiar with that Phase 1 digital back. Whereas normally, you know, if they weren't trained on that originally, you know, some of these, some of the gears, you know, tens of thousands of dollars each thing. So yeah, so being able to have that hands-on experience and then work in the field and have that knowledge is very valuable.
I believe it, and thank you so much for sharing all that important information. Not only have I learned, but so has our audience. So once again, thank you for speaking with me this morning and really just sharing all this wonderful information.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
Yes, you're welcome.
So all this talk is sure making me hungry. What you making over there, Chef Rex? Anything special for the holiday?
Chef James is out, so I'll be filling in for today. Let's get started. St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner, and a lot of students and staff are going to celebrate. Why not celebrate with a full tummy and some style? Today, we're going to be making a Reuben sandwich with some Irish root ingredients, along with our homemade dressing. Let's get into our list of ingredients. You'll need for the sandwich 2 slices of rye bread, 2 tablespoons of butter, a 1/4 cup of homemade dressing, 4 slices of Swiss cheese, 1/2 pound of corned beef, and 1/2 cup of sauerkraut. For the homemade dressing, you'll need 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, 3 tablespoons of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of horseradish, 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, a 1/4 tablespoon of paprika, kosher salt, and freshly ground black pepper. Now, the first thing we're going to need is to make sure you have a medium-sized bowl. You're going to take this bowl and insert 1/2 cup of the mayonnaise and all of the other ingredients. Now, I've already pre-mixed this before we started. When you add the brown sugar, make sure to beat those clumps out because you'll have a clumpy brown sugary mess inside of your mixture. And just mix it until it's nice and creamy, kind of like a consistency like this. All right, now once we have the dressing, it's time to start the sandwich itself. So you want to take these 2 slices of bread and spread butter on the outside portions that are going to be cooked. So there's one side right there, and here is the other side. Now that you got your butter on, you want to flip those over and start out with the inside portion. You want to put as much of the dressing as you like. Personally, I like to keep it clean, so I don't like soggy sandwiches. We don't want any sog in our sandwiches. Just enough to taste the mixture. Did you know that the Reuben sandwich is actually an urban legend? Many don't know where it's from. Some say it's from Nebraska, some say it's from New York, others say it's from Germany. I say it's from my friend Reuben, who calls himself the Sandwich. Now, once you've got your mixture on, you want to add in your slices of cheese. Again, I said a certain amount of cheese, but you just want to put in however much you want. Now put in 4 slices of corned beef. Just put them on however you want. It doesn't have to be pretty. And then as much of the sauerkraut that you desire. Now, I drained this sauerkraut before starting this because sauerkraut comes in a jar filled with liquid. And I don't want soggy sandwiches, so this is to avoid a soggy sandwich. Put on your top slice of bread and start heating your pan on medium to low heat. Place your sandwich down and cook until it is golden brown and the cheese is melted. About 3 minutes per side. You can probably change up the heat or the amount of time to your heart's content. Now, we don't have time to wait around for this sandwich to cook, so I prepared in advance and have a sandwich already made just for you guys. And here's what it looks like. A delicious Reuben sandwich. Now, this is a nice, savory, and special sandwich for those who want to celebrate the holiday. Wishing you all a pot of gold this St. Patrick's Day. Back to you guys in the studio.
That looks amazing, Chef. I know I can't wait to give it a try. But now, let's take a look at the week ahead with Courtney and the MATC Minute.
required masks at all their campuses. But starting today, Monday, March 14th, MATC is officially mask friendly. For more information on this change, please visit matc.edu. If you are a new, returning, current MATC student considering a program change outside your pathway, feel free to participate in the Program Change Workshop on March 23rd and 31st. Participating students will also get an opportunity to have an individual conversation with a career coach. For the third time in 4 years, MATC's own men's basketball team has won the NJCAA District 4 Championship. Go Stormers! Did you know the MATC Dental Hygiene Program provides dental cleanings for students, their family, friends, and the public? Treatment is provided by students in the Dental Hygiene Program under the supervision of a licensed dentist. MATC students receive a 50% discount on services. To make an appointment, call or stop in during clinic hours.
Thanks for all that great upcoming information, Courtney. Now let's take a look into the past with student producer Madison LeVack, who takes us to Antiques on Pierce to see what they all have to offer in this week's Hidden geMKE.
Madison LeVack, and you're watching another Hidden geMKE. Asian artwork on the third floor, Dad's 90s shirt on the second, to Grandma's old kitchen set on the first. Antiques on Pierce, just like any other antique shop, has everything you can think of when it comes to vintage. With 50,000 square feet to showcase the artifacts over the span of 3 stories.
And with antiques from over 100 different dealers, you're bound to find a hidden gem just for you.
With Brian and Cheryl Belly originally opening the largest antique mall in southeastern Wisconsin on July 1st, 2010, with the name Antiques on 2nd, LLC. With a bit of relocating in June of 2015, they found themselves at 1512 West Pierce Street, with the new fitting name Antiques on Pierce. They have a plethora of vintage clothing and jewelry, with unique glassware, retro furniture, old holiday items and toys, along with classic record albums. Making Antiques on Pierce one of the many places antique hunters go looking for old artifacts, along with history enthusiasts looking to see a glimpse of the past.
Well, that looks like all the time we have for this Hidden geMKE. Until next time, I'm Madison LeVack, signing off.
What a blast from the past, a fun place with a unique story. I'll definitely have to check it out to see what other antiques they have hidden around the store. Well, that's all the time we have left for today. Thank you for joining us, and thank you so much, Darren, for joining me and co-hosting.
Absolutely, it was a great pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. But before we go, it's with great sadness that we share the passing of our dear former colleague, student, and friend, Al Newsome. Al was a familiar figure around the station. First as a student here in the TVP program after MATC, Al worked at CBS 58 and Channel 18. Over the last 15 years, Al came back to MATC and volunteered his time helping with the TVP labs. For several years, Al suffered from multiple sclerosis. That slowly took away his mobility, but he never lost his love for video production. Please keep Al and his family in your thoughts, as he's a loved member of the Milwaukee PBS family.